Welcome to the Observe Day podcast, the show where we celebrate the days that matter. From holidays to meaningful observances, we bring you inspiring conversations, stories, and ideas to make each day count. Whether it's raising awareness, learning something new, or simply sparking joy, this is your space to explore the calendar in a whole new way. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I'm excited to share today's observance with you. Let's dive in. Okay? Today on the Observe Day podcast, in honor of NICU Awareness Month, we're spotlighting the courage of parents, families, and caregivers who experience the challenges of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. To guide us through the emotional side of this journey, we're joined by Dr. Angelo Valenti, a consulting psychologist, coach, and author with over 40 years of experience helping individuals and organizations build confidence, resilience, and healthier relationships. He's the author of You Are Making This Way Too Hard. Find Your Easy Way to Enjoy Life, and has spent his career helping people navigate anxiety, uncertainty, and emotional pressure, challenges that deeply resonate with NICU families. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Angelo.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Dr. Angelo, from your perspective as a psychologist, what are the most common emotional struggles families face when their baby is in the NICU?
Well, the emotional struggles that they're obviously the pain of having a child in intensive care is real. Sometimes people can feel isolated. They can feel alone. They can feel like people don't really understand what they're going through. And they can feel a tremendous sense of helplessness because there's really not much they can do for their child while they're in intensive care. So all of those things combined can make it tremendously stressful for those parents and really the extended family as well, because it just doesn't touch the immediate family. It touches the extended family and friends and any kind of relationships that the parents might have.
Yeah. Wow. The whole idea of the holidays to shine a light on both the babies, the families, the extended families, and all the the stakeholders. One of the things that is particularly common is during this emotional toll, most persons don't talk about it, right? Why is it so important to talk openly about this emotional stress and all that?
Well, it's important because it, first of all, it gives people a chance to express what they're feeling, and if you keep it all inside, it's not going to be good for you. You're gonna end up feeling more stressed than you would otherwise. It also gives people a chance to be supportive and understanding. And while people really can't empathize unless they've been in that situation themselves, they can sympathize. And I think people, if you hold everything inside and don't give people a chance to show that they care and to be there for you in a way that maybe you're hesitant to ask. But I think I've found that if you just ask people what you need, tell them what you need, they're very more than happy to give it to you. They want to be helpful, but they often don't know how. And the people that are really going to be there for you, they're just going to be there whether you ask them to be there or not. They'll find a way to stay close to you. It's the people that say, well, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Those people aren't going to be around for you. So really the people that your real support system, the people that you can depend on, they're going to be there for you, and you should ask them for help if you need help, because they're going to be more than happy to give it to you. But a lot of people are hesitant to ask for help. They feel like they have to go through it alone. And you really don't have to go through it alone unless you choose to go through it alone.
Yeah. One of the things very common about NICU is that it's a high pressure moment for everyone.
Yes. And doctors included, and nurses.
Exactly. The parents, especially if the first time parents, like, man, they're like, they don't know, what should I do? Is it supposed to be like this? What's happening? And it's a moment of stress and uncertainty. And this can have, apart from just emotional toll, it can also have a toll on the parents' mental health. And What are some of the steps they can take to cope?
Well, it depends on the individual. People have coping mechanisms that work for them, and not the same. The same mechanisms aren't going to work for everybody. But for some people, just taking a little bit of time to maybe take a walk or take a nap or just try to listen to some calming music, something to take their mind off of something that they have very little control over. And that's a terrible feeling to have to feel like you don't have any control over the
Yeah.
situation, because in that situation you don't have much control. So all you can do is try to control your emotions, your physical health, and a lot of times people will neglect their physical health when they're going through a situation like this.
Before we dive deeper, I'd love to invite you to join the Observe Day newsletter. Every week, I send you highlights of upcoming observances, creative ways to celebrate, and behind the scenes extras from the shows. It's the perfect way to stay inspired and never miss a meaningful moment. Sign up today at observeday.com/join. That is observeday.com/join. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
Because they're so worried, they're so concerned about their child that maybe they're not getting sleep, maybe they're not eating right. Some people might be drinking too much or finding some other way to dull the pain. And it's really important in those situations to be as strong and ready as you can be for your child and for the people that are helping your child.
Yeah. Of things I noticed about your profile is you've coached people through grief, anxiety, high pressure environment. And this question is more for the families. In such a time, how do they build resilience? So during such an overwhelming time, because you mentioned earlier that a lot of persons will feel powerless, and they are they're pretty much powerless because there's nothing they can really do as much as they want to, like wave, snap their finger and make sure everything is all right.
Yeah, it's a very difficult high stress situation, obviously. But what you can do is try to live as much of a normal life as you can. Try, maybe have dinner together, or try to do some type of a recreational activity or a social activity that feels, I hate to use the word normal, but that's really the best word for it, maybe. Some activity that brings some sense of how your regular life was
Yeah,
before your child was in this situation.
yeah,
So, and really, your support system can help with that. Kind of maybe force somebody to go out and maybe go out to dinner or go out, just do something to take your mind off of it. Because if you just ruminate on it continuously, it's just going to make the situation worse. And I know that's easier said than done. I believe me, I know
yeah,
that. Um, but
yeah,
you have to try to find some way to normalize your life and some way to take care of yourself physically while you're going through this.
yeah. For people who are listening right now who may not have a child in the NICU but want to support a loved one who does, what's the best way to truly help?
The best way to truly help is to communicate, to be there. You can call them up and say, "I'm coming over and bringing you dinner, and I won't take no for an answer." I'm going to be, and if you refuse to answer the door, I'm just going to leave it on your doorstep, but I am coming over to be there for you. And that's the best thing you can do, is just communicate, be there, and listen, and don't judge. Just don't, and really don't offer advice. Just offer
Present.
yourself, your presence. Yeah.
Mm. For me, I'm thinking, what about people that are, you know, geographically, like they're in a different country, in fact, a different continent
Right.
entirely, and their loved one is going through that situation. They cannot exactly, show up on the
No,
front
they,
door.
no, they can't. But thanks to modern technology, they can FaceTime, they can
Yeah,
Zoom, they can really almost, if you have to nag people to be in contact with you, because some people are going to shut down and they're going to try to isolate themselves, which is really the wrong thing for them to do. You just got to be persistent. and you just got to let them know that you're there, you're ready to listen, and anytime, day or night. Because I know one of the things about a child in intensive care is your hours are not going to be normal hours. Something could happen at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning that you have to address or that you have to be ready for. So you might not be in a normal sleep pattern, but so if people let you know that they're available and they're going to contact you day or night, or you can contact them day or night, that can be a big help.
Yeah. One of the things I want us to talk about in this NICU awareness episode is it's not just about awareness, right? It's also about encouraging healing because most parents they need to learn self-compassion instead of guilt and self-blame. Because a lot of parents they feel like, oh well, it's because of this I did, that's why this is happening. And most of the time it feels like it's their own fault. It's what they did or they may have not done. That's why this is happening. And this really has a lot of negative effects on the parents as well. Because
Sure.
now they can't heal.
Well, they that's true, and people do tend to blame. A lot of people tend to blame themselves for things that they had nothing to do with, especially in a situation like that, because it's something that nobody expects, nobody's prepared for, and especially if it's your first child. But even if it's your third or fourth or fifth child, it doesn't really matter. You're still not really prepared for it. Nobody can
Yeah.
prepare for that.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's easy. It's easy to feel that guilt, but what you can do is think about, and don't beat yourself up. Think about what you can do to be helpful instead of blaming yourself. Think of, what can I do? I'm going to make sure that I'm there when the doctor has questions for me. I'm going to make sure I'm there, to be proactive. And this is all easier said than done, I realize, because it's a very difficult situation. But you objectively, if you can come to the point where you realize that this is just one of those events that happens to people. You know, I went through something not exactly like this, but similar to this about 15 years ago, 16 years ago now, when my wife was diagnosed with ALS.
Oh.
And she was active, seemingly healthy, and then all of a sudden she wasn't. And we went through 3 years of watching, her declining until she finally passed away in
So sorry to hear that.
in 2012. And that was, nobody knows why people get ALS. It just kind of happens. So we
Yeah.
dealt with a lot of the same things. What did she do, or what did I do, or what did anybody do to cause that? And there was no answer to that, because it just happens.
Yeah.
And right. So what we tried to do was live as normal life as we could for those 3 years. And I think that if parents can try to do as many of their usual activities as possible, given the situation, that can be very helpful. But that I understand that the guilt can creep in at any time, because people, even though their child is alive, the parents are often going through the stages of grief,
Yeah.
and the child is still with us, and hopefully they're going to make a recovery at some point.
Yeah.
But so parents are dealing with very complicated feelings, very complicated thoughts at that time.
Yeah. One of the things I notice is that uh, sometimes uh, these uh, events could lead to couples breaking up. And
Well,
for that the question now is, how can couples maintain their relationship while going through this an ICU experience together?
Well, that's also a very complicated question. I think parents who have an open and strong and loving relationship to begin with have a much better chance of not only surviving but becoming closer through this experience. And if there are cracks in the relationship to begin with, those cracks are likely to get bigger in a high stress situation like having a child in intensive care.
Yeah.
So really it's the foundation of the relationship going in makes some relationships stronger and makes some relationships weaker. And that just depends on that individual, that relationship.
Yeah.
Hard to predict.
Yeah. Observing an NICU Awareness Month, it helps normalize conversations about struggle, hope, this emotional roller coaster. What impact do you think these awareness months have on the broader society's compassion?
Ask me that one more time. I'm not sure I got the question.
We're doing this episode to create awareness about NICU, right? A lot of persons
Right.
don't even know that,
Yeah.
right? So for me, I'm asking, it's this conversation we're trying to have now. It's about the struggle and hope that for people that are going through that. So my question is, how does these are different awareness? It could be NICU, it could be something another awareness for a different cause entirely. It could be awareness for something like ALS. What role do you think it plays in society's broader helping society have compassion for people that are going through this by creating awareness, not just
Well,
for
I think,
NICU?
I think what it does is it forces people to think about it. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. If you're not bringing awareness to uh, neonatal intensive care or ALS or whatever it might be, then it's easy for people to forget about it. And if people forget about it, it's easier for them not to have compassion and understanding and not to realize what people are going through.
Yeah.
And just because they're not going through something doesn't mean somebody else isn't going through something. So I think it's really important, just from an exposure standpoint, to force people to think about what those parents might be going through at that time.
Yeah. Well, if you could leave NICU parents with one message of hope for this month, what would it be?
The message is, even though you're going through a very difficult situation right now, this will pass. And you have to live the rest of your life, hopefully, God willing, you're going to be living that life with your child. And if you approach every day with a hopeful, positive attitude, it helps you to get through whatever it is you're going through. I know it's easier said than done, but you're going to be going through it anyway. So if you're going through with a positive attitude, that can have some benefits for you, those people close to you, and your child as well.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Angelo.
My pleasure.
Thank you for guiding us through such a sensitive and important conversation during the NICU Awareness Month. For those listening, remember this month is not just about awareness, but about compassion, community, and care for families who are navigating one of the toughest journeys of their lives. You can learn more about Dr. Angelo's work, his book, and his coaching programs by visiting angelovalenti.com. And as always, on the Observe the podcast, we encourage you to show a little extra kindness to the families who need it most. Thank you, Dr. Angelo.
Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless all you parents out there.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's it for today's episode of the Observe the podcast. Thank you for spending your time with us as we explore today's observance. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and share it with a friend who'd love to celebrate life's special days too. Don't forget to join the newsletter at observeday.com/join for more observance stories, tips, and updates. Until next time, keep finding meaning in every day.